Welcome to another edition of Rock Forever. We got a special show for you. He is the lead singer, solo artist, formerly of Mushroomhead, so much more. Please welcome WAYLON REAVIS.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, it's a real pleasure to have you, man. I interviewed you on the Mayhem Festival.
Oh yeah. Oh, now back in yes.
Yeah,
God,
man.
14.
This was San Bernardino. I don't know if that was like one of the first shows. I think the tour kicked off probably there.
That was the very first show. That I remember that day being so hot.
Oh yeah.
And I remember coming backstage and just dripping sweat because we had that whole area right there at catering, and all your tents were set up there.
Yeah.
And I remember me and J-Man were like totally just going back and forth, to all these different tents. It was me, Jay, and Skinny, and it was just absolutely just terrifying.
You guys had some kind of was it an RV or something? Some kind of was it a tour bus or RV or what was it?
Yeah, tour bus. We had a tour bus.
Okay, great. Yeah, that was awesome, man. I got you right as you came off the stage, so you were in full gear,
Oh yeah, man, because I remember we went straight from there to doing interviews.
Yeah. It's always hot out there, man. That's the desert. Back in the 83, 84 area, that's where they had the US Festival. I don't know if you remember hearing about that. There was like 300,000 people out there in that valley, and they they created a permanent venue there, with the seats and the overhang and the building and everything. But back in those days, the co-founder of Apple, he decided to create this US Festival.
Oh wow!
And it was quite a deal. Unfortunately, he lost a lot of money on it, but it was great for the fans. It was like $20 for like a whole day of the biggest bands in the world.
Well, that's how that works usually. When people do festivals, they don't realize it takes them a few years of doing it to make a profit. You've got to build, you got to spend, you got to get that big act, and you got to spend more money than you like than the tickets you're selling to build it to where you finally get to that point where it becomes a mainstay, and it makes money. It's a hard, any business, like trying to make a profit is hard, but it's really risky in music.
Yeah, no doubt. But I remember that that day was special. As you went through that Mayhem tour, who were some of the favorite artists that you like to see, or anybody you hung out with or anything on that tour?
I hung out with Korn every day. Texas Hippie, Suicide Silence, Upon a Burning Body, Asking Alexandria, just God, so many bands. Body Count. Who else was on that? I'm like my mind's drawing a blank right now. Cannibal Corpse. God, yeah, that was just such a great something. Like everybody has that memory of in their childhood. That was like the ultimate summer. They went to some kind of summer camp. Mine happened in my mid-30s when I was on that. That was the summer of my life. That was like the best time ever. Amur was there. God, I'm just like going through it in my head right now. All the amazing.
Yeah. No, if we had a list, I'm sure there were others. But who's your buddy in Korn? Who'd you hang out the most with?
It was me, Fieldy, and Brian most of the time. It was all of us.
Okay. Well, that's awesome, man. They're still out there doing it, and
they're still going, and they're still going strong. Pandemic and all, catching COVID on the road and taking time off. Your monkey's got it right now. God bless him. Wanted to get better. Jonathan caught it, and it's just one of those things. But I mean, life has to move forward, and they're trying to. But I mean, it's a real dangerous time right now, and you just got to be better, more safe than sorry. But
I see Chad, the lead singer of Mudvayne, just got COVID. They had to pull out a.
Yes,
Outer Than Life for one of those festivals this weekend.
Well, I just did that song with Chad, and Chad had let me know, and God bless him. It's like I call him. I've been hitting him up. I was like, "Hey, you okay? You okay?" He's let me know every day.
Wow. Yeah, it doesn't take much to catch it. That's for sure.
Yes.
So now, obviously, you had a run with Mushroomhead. What was the challenges? Why did you decide to leave the group? I know. Obviously, there was probably a number of challenges there.
Well, first of all, I had to get over myself. It's like the reason the Mushroomhead thing went the way it is, there's fault on all sides, but I take my blame. Arrogance and ego and just like not really getting it and being an addict. Like I have to say that, it's like I caused my own demise there. And, a lot of people want to toss shade and all that. And it's like, man, it was a learning experience. I took a good opportunity and didn't respect it enough. If that makes any sense to you. I'm in a different place now. I'm appreciative of what the Mushroomhead camp and what it did for my career. But it was a lot of challenges when I left, because like I didn't know where I belonged in the world, but I didn't know who I was as a person either, if that makes sense to you. I was really lost, and thank goodness. I mean, I say it all the time that the day I left Mushroomhead was the worst and greatest thing to happen to me at once. And I wouldn't change anything, because it helped me become a better person and get sober and make my life right.
Yeah, no, I hear it. Sometimes you got to walk through the fires of hell to get to the better side.
It is,
But
man. It's like, and I have no resentment towards them guys. I don't hate on anybody. I don't have time for it. I've been shown my own mortality, to say the least. And I'm happy. It's like, that's the real thing. I'm happy. And I'm glad it happened to me, because it needed to, because it made me a better person.
well, that's the main thing. Happiness is everything. A lot of people get into music for all the wrong reasons. They think they're going to make a lot of money or get a lot of girls or whatever. But it's got you got to be happy doing it. You got to be
That's the thing,
happy
I
making
wasn't
the
happy
music.
doing it.
And
When
yeah,
you're chasing the wrong things, you lose the integrity of your music. You don't care that it becomes second to whatever ego inflating idea you're after. And trust me, it is. It's all about the ego. And now nothing's about the ego. Everything's about the music and the message. And it's like I went back to my roots. I found myself again. I found my smile again. And I'm happy. It's like, I really, like, sometimes I think in my head, I was like, I wish I could go back and just put this mind in that young body. So like I could have really gave something great to that project, but needless to say, I had to do what I did to get here. So it's like it's a catch-22. He's like, it couldn't happen. So, and I wish those guys the best. I mean, they're still going and they're still kicking. And it's like, that's part of my legacy of what I've done in my career. And I used to really hate on that. And I don't now, because it's like, I'm hating on myself. And I try to be like, oh, you, and I'm pointing that finger. And it's like, no, you got to take that finger and point it back at yourself. You're just as big a blame as anything else. And, it's like, I really do. I look at it now and just like, I don't wish anything. I want them to succeed, because it continues off what I did for 12 years with them. And I don't want to tarnish that any more than I already have.
yeah. Well, it's obviously a difficult business, only made harder, by drugs or egos or, problems that, you bring to the project. So yeah, it's great that you're happy. Please tell us about your new solo project and what it's all about and what you're most proud of achieving with it.
Well, at KillersConfession, we started it back in 2016. I took a year off after leaving Mushroomhead, and I'm getting ready to finish off my third album. And that's the thing. It's like I finished in the third, and I'm starting to write the fourth. The 4 albums in 5 years, and it's just took me time to really rebuild my name and kind of wipe away some of those scars that I had put on it. By being letting the ego really damage my image and my reputation. And I'm really starting to be taken seriously now. And the music really started to show, because I'm working with producers and working with bigger artists. Like I just did a song with Chad Gray from Mudvayne, and Tell Your Soul, which was awesome. It's like the second big artist. I had Brian Welch on our first album. I did the Killer's Confession, and then didn't have any guest. I had one guest on the second. I had Justin from Tala do a song with us, but then I had Chad Gray come in and do our last release, Tell Your Soul, which was just absolutely an honor to get to work with a legend like that. And it was him and I and Sahaj Tickerton from Raw that wrote that song. And it speaks for itself. It's just such a great song. And but the music of the Killer's Confession is just that journey of acceptance and who we are. And I think that everybody who sees the name, they think it's some kind of like hardcore band, but it's really not. It's a hardcore emotional band. It's a moody band. If a band ever had a bipolar issue, it'd be a KillersConfession, because our mood changes from song to song. And everybody always asks, like, what style are you? Well, we're just moody. It's like we do what we want. We really don't have a style.
Yeah. Well, I know, Chad's been through a lot, and, losing Vinnie Paul, at the Hell Yeah Band, and, coming back and reuniting Mudvayne after all these years. I know it's a labor of love. It's a hard year to do it. It's really, really risky out there with these festivals, and even a club show. I mean, you're just in close quarters with a lot of people, and you don't know who's vaccinated or who's got it, or.
Well, I'll say this, like, I don't hold anything back. People who are not vaxxed, if you're vaxxed, it's your choice. But what I want everybody to do is to test yourself, because vaxxed people are catching COVID. You're able to spread it. Non-vaxxed people are the same thing. Just test. If you don't feel good, stay home. And like I said, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, because everybody can carry it still. Everybody can. And I think the safest route is to be mindful of your own situation, of your own health. And if you do get the sniffle, go get a test. Just check. Better safe than sorry, and to be that person that hurts somebody else by not being safe.
Yeah, it's just so easy to get tested these days. There's free tests almost in every city, and
there's free tests. You go to we run through CVS, vaxxed. We're all vaxxed, and we go in and we buy tests. I go to CVS, and you can only buy one test per person. They come with two. Every band member go in, here's $25, here's $25, here's go buy a box. And we fill the van up. If you show any symptoms, you take a test. Don't care, and we stay on top of it. I don't care if you're vaxxed or not. You still can spread this, and you got to be safe, and you got to make sure everybody around you is safe, including your family.
I mean, who would have thought, in February of 2020 that we'd be looking at this, almost 2 years later without an end in sight. I mean, people were talking initially like, 3-4 weeks, it'll blow over. They had no idea what we were looking at. And like
we still have to
you got to be proactive. You can't sit there and say, oh, woe is me and the world owes me this. No, we're all in this together. You don't have any special privileges.
But that's the thing. Life has to move forward. You can't stay at home and be scared either. That's not living. And I know it's dangerous, but you got to be smart. But you also got to go out there and be productive in society. That's how society works. It's like we have to do our jobs. If you're lucky enough to be able to do it remotely, that's so fine. But there has to be the essential workers. You have to get out there. You got to do the work. Because society can't just continue by sitting still and being afraid of the boogeyman. And I hate to say it like that, but it's the truth. We have to move forward. The humanity is so strong and has prevailed for so many thousands of years. And these things have happened before, and they will happen again. But we always push through. We always fight. We always stand up. We always take care of each other. That's the thing everybody's got to remember right now. Is like this is not something that has never happened, because it has.
That's for sure. Now tell us about the song that you brought Chad Gray onto, and what's the song about, and why did you know that was the perfect song for him to guest on?
Well, the song is called Tell Your Soul, and we had already did a track, and we both felt like it wasn't good enough. We didn't feel like it was what it needed to be, So we went to the drawing board, and Sahaj was like, hey, I got an idea. And he wrote the music to it, and he sent it to me with like a vocal scratch kind of thing. No lyrics, just like a scat. And he's like, well, and I heard the lyrics pop out to me in like 2 seconds. I wrote the lyrics in like 20 minutes. Like it just came to me. And when I heard it, I just heard this screaming of forgiveness. And Chad and I want to do something really deep. And the song is about forgiveness. It's like, okay, let's just put it into a scenario. Say we're two veterans and we both fought into combat together, and say one of us got injured while the other one was on watch, and the one that was on watch kind of held that of like it was his fault. And the other one finally comes to, it's like, dude, it's not your fault. I was there. You know, it's like, you can't blame yourself for where I'm at. You know, it's like, I may have got injured, I may have lost something, but it's not your fault. You don't need to carry this burden, you know, in this forgiveness, and you've forgiven yourself, and being known that the person that you did that got injured forgives you. And that's how that song is, just that two friends of this acceptance of like, I'm not here because of you. And it's okay to let it go. Tell your soul that you don't have to carry this burden.
Wow. And what are the other songs on the album that you're, you know, most excited about how they came out? Any stories on those?
Yeah, everything has a story. Remember is like the title track of the album. And like, we've been releasing each song separately. We'd have to put them all together. But remember is just remembering who we are, and remembering we're strong. And, you know, it's like all this bad stuff can happen, but you know who I am. You better remember that kind of stuff. It's always uplifting. It may come off a little, you know, different, but there's a story in every song, like Trapped Inside. You know, it's talking about being trapped inside your mind during all this, and trying to find a way to succeed, and how things can mess with you in your mind. You know, Angel on the Outside, I did a couple years ago. That song is about my fall from Mushroomhead, and how I just felt like I was cast away and didn't know what to do with myself. And, you know, dealt with a lot of addiction stuff, like Reanimated, dealt with addiction. I wish, how a buddy of mine was OD'd on heroin, and I didn't stop him. You know, I knew he was using. I didn't step in, and I wasn't the friend I should have been, and watched him fall. And that's what I Wish was about. I mean, every song, like, I find, I don't plan it. It just, like, the moments in time are permanently encased in these songs, because I don't think about, well, I want to write about this, I want to write about that. I go off that real emotion and let the song speak to me. So if that thing in time is happening to me at that moment, that's what it's about.
Yeah, I know you've been through a lot of heavy experiences. What can you impart on the youngsters coming up? Because I know it's a whole different, you know, music industry for sure. It's a different world than it was, you know, 20, 30 years ago coming up.
It ain't about the fame.
Yeah.
It ain't about the fame. It ain't about the money. You can't take it with you. You know, if you're lucky enough to be on the stage, and to be admired, and to be, you know, loved by them, and cherish it. But don't get it twisted, and don't think that you solve world hunger. Don't think that, you know, you're something special, you know, because guess what? You're lucky to be able to entertain somebody for a moment, and help them get through their life with your song. That's all it is. And don't put yourself on a pedestal. Remember that. It's like, as much as money and fame, and you think it's something, it's not. You're still a man, you're still a woman, you still put your pants on one leg at a time. You still got problems. Money doesn't solve everything. And just check your ego and just enjoy the ride, but don't get it twisted.
Yeah, you got to do it for the love of it. I mean, you know, one crowd one day might be cheering you, the next crowd might be booing you. So, you know,
right.
don't believe the ultra highs and ultra lows, man. Be in the middle and do it for the love of it. And, you know, that's
I love this. I would not do
possible.
I would not do this if I did not love this. There is no reason to be in the music industry. If you don't love it, there's no reason to be here, because like, this business is cutthroat. It's like you are in competition with everything. And it sounds weird to say that, but you really are, man. It's like, there's always somebody aiming for your spot, and there's always somebody that, like, you're going to be on top for a second, but like, here is the trajectory of a musician. It's always up and then back down. You never stay on top. There's always somebody that will supersede you, and the next and the next and the next. And that's just the nature of the business. Just accept that. Enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey, and make the best of it, and cherish every moment, because it could be the last time. You never know. And always don't dance with the devil.
Yeah.
Up to
And, and respect each other. Like you say, you know, don't be on a pedestal, you know, give love and respect to those that you're, you know, in business with, because it's like a sports team. You know what I mean? One person's not going to win the game. And, you know, to succeed, everybody's got to play their part.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not even, you know, it's like you respect the ones that came before you and the ones that came after you. Respect both of them. Respect the local band. Respect them. Like, yeah, you were able to get a bunch of fans, but you were local one time. Why are you going to step on these people now? You know, it's like, remember where you came from. And most of all, help them, teach them, pass the knowledge on of what you've learned to help somebody else maybe achieve what you've achieved.
Yeah, no, that's important words. No doubt about it. Like I say, the people you piss on the way up, you know, you got to see on the way down. And
Oh yeah,
they,
every head you step on the way up is every ass you're kissing on the way down.
we love it, man. Where is a website or social that people can tune in, find out more about the band, the album, and what you're doing?
You can find a Killer's Confession on YouTube. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on Facebook, Instagram. You can find me on TikTok and AKC on TikTok. You can find us any you think of it. You know, the only thing we don't have is a website because I just don't believe in that crap no more. I don't. Websites just who goes to a website? You go to your social medias.
Well, our special guest has been Waylon Reavis. You know him, Killer's Confession, ex-Mushroomhead, so much more. Going back to our great times at the Mayhem Festival. What a great time talking, man. Thanks so much for joining us. Can't wait to reconvene, man. Follow your journey.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me today.